The seagulls follow trawler. It's because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.
Talking nonsense. So I thought, no, enough's enough. Why should I put up with that? Talking nonsense. So I thought, no, enough's enough. Why should I put up with that? Don't back down. Double doon. Don't back down. Double doon.
Yes, here we go. The Bhoycie bus is back. Friday night. It can only mean one thing. Don't back down. Double doon. And that is exactly what we are going to do this week, as always. And we are delighted to be joined by yet another viewer who gets the chance to come on a pretty popular podcast for the first time. It's all about opportunity in the Bhoycie bus. We're all one big happy family. This week it is the turn of Chris Kerr. Yes. How you doing, my man?
All good, sir. How about you? All good?
I'm very well, mate. We were obviously, in makeup before we came on live tonight, and we had a wee discussion about that headset. And me,
nightmare, man.
There's no way to make that look cool.
I was going to put the rabbit ears in it.
Anyway, mate, looks like you're about to, I don't know, go play Call of Duty or something like that. But we're delighted to have you on, pal. How are you?
Thank you so much. Aye, all good, man. All good. How about yourself, buddy? All good?
Jamming, mate.
Excellent.
I love the weekend vibe, mate. Everyone's in a good mood. We're all allowed a wee beer or two if we want. If you're having a beer, cheers. Oh,
cheers to you, my man.
Whatever drink of preference that you have out there, please drink responsibly if you want. We've got big names coming in the comments as well, which I love. On a Friday night, we've got Chunks in my trunks. We've got Joe Curran, Phil McGinley, who's been on a few times now. Ian at Green and White 1. Monty's in. Paul McFarlane, the big legend's in. Glasgow CSC's with us. Joe Curran, Theresa Lyle, big regular. Love it. John Duncan, another regular. Paul Gilston's getting to watch us live. Just all these big names, mate, watching the Bhoycie bus, or on board the Bhoycie bus, I should say. None more so than Ange Postecoglou right now, but we'll get to that later, don't you worry. What I was going to say as well, big thanks to the sponsors as always, fanboyfootball.com. Big news coming this week. We are very close. I have got the designs now in front of me. The photos are going to be sharing of the t-shirts. I think they're looking really cool. So hopefully if folk want to buy them, they can. No pressure, of course. But aye, it's looking... It'll be really cool to see like the merch on their shop online. It'll be another big step for the Bhoycie bus. You know what I mean? Which is good because I think that's us now in 3 months. We've hit 100,000 views now. I don't think that's bad going in 3 months for a brand new pod. So I'm delighted with that. I actually felt a little bit emotional when I seen the views get to like 100,000 in total. I was like, we did this. Anyway, sponsors aside. And do check out the website, of course. They've got loads of cool bespoke T-shirts and prints already, as well as what Bhoycie Bus merchandise goes on there. But even more than that, we have got a huge congratulations to give out. We've had the first Bhoycie Bus marriage. Kaylee and Brian Galt gets in there. So I genuinely didn't even realise. I thought they were just taking the piss in the comments, let alone being a couple for years, let alone getting married. So heartfelt congratulations to both of them. It's a shame that obviously you opted for maybe a white Rolls Royce, not the Bhoycie Bus to drive you to the church or the chapel, whatever it may have been. But a huge congratulations to them both. I'm sure they're probably enjoying their honeymoon, wherever they may be. Blackpool was the last I heard. So if they're down there, I hope, if they're not watching the bus, they're having the best time. And sincere congratulations to you both.
Superb.
Aye, brilliant, eh? Brilliant.
Amazing.
Anyway, Bhoycie is leading the way for Friday night quizzes. Well, I heard the English Celts, fair enough. It's their 100th show. They're doing a one-off special. I think they did the Chase one a few months ago, a Christmas special, and it was really successful. So I totally get why they're doing the quiz. But the other lot, if you're stealing ideas off me, you are in big trouble. And he gets paid to do this. I love it, man. Love it. Anyway, up the bus, says Rory Pickering. And before all that self-indulgence, I've got it out me. Let's talk some Celtic tonight. That's what you're on the show for, Chris, my boy. So let's...
Another Rangers podcast I'm on, Bhoycie, no? Have I got this mixed up? Right, let's not talk about them, eh?
You've got to be careful even by calling them Rangers.
I know, very true.
It's a fickle world we live in, a fickle world. Anyway, to be honest, obviously, this is the most organised I've been for a Double Doon show in a few weeks. I didn't go to the pub tonight, which is good. I'm working on it, mate. I'm working on it.
See, it's funny you say that. It's the most nervous I've been for a Bhoycie bus.
Mate, you've got nothing to be nervous about. You're acting cool and composed, mate. Even in that headset, so you're doing well, mate. Trust me. Awesome. So, it's been a quiet week in the world of Celtic, undeniably. But it's a well-earned rest I think they've had at just the right time. Me and Jonathan were speaking on it on the Monday/Tuesday club, whatever you prefer. The hard work starts all over again. Unfortunately, it's not this weekend. I was ready for a game this weekend. It's the first midweek we've not had one in so long that once you do have that break at one midweek, you're ready for the game come the Saturday or the latest the Sunday. We're going to have to wait a wee bit longer till Monday evening. We go to Tannadice, Scottish Cup. Ange has had this bonus week on the training ground. Now, I've spoken to this before about Ange's second favourite place to be, other than match day, is the training ground. This is where he comes into his own. This is where he can implement his methods. He's probably felt that he could be doing with the week that he's probably just had. I think it'll have done wonders for the team. Rather than just having to go from game to game almost, he's going to have had allotted training sessions designated to help these guys, again, just reaffirm some of the beliefs Ange's got, maybe work on a couple of things he's observed in other matches that he thinks we could work on. Set pieces, hopefully. But I just think that the week's rest that we've had, we couldn't be set up better to go to Tannadice. In fact, I'm almost a wee bit frustrated that it isn't a league match, because I think it's been ideal prep to get a bonus 7-8 days off. What would you make of the tie coming up and the break that we've had?
I look forward to it as well, man. Like you're saying, you're wanting the weekend to come along, though. That's what we're wanting that. And you've said, honest to God, man, you've just said the perfect thing. Is we just wish it was a league, don't we? Mm-hmm. And it's just, man, what Ange has done for this team so far has been beyond our wildest dreams. We've got to be honest about that. I said a wee comment. I put in a wee comment. Was it a couple of Mondays ago when you were on with one with your brother?
Yep.
If you were to say to me this time last year that we would be in this position, you'd just get laughed at. You know what I mean? We get laughed at. Yeah. Well, what, 3 points ahead of them? I mean, that's a 3 years worth of team they've built.
No, totally, mate.
Totally. And to be where we are, I think Big Ange he's the best thing so far. He's just amazing.
Yep. I think though, Chris, as well, this is where you've got to appreciate getting a week off, because Postecoglou, as you say, he's managed to fast forward the progression of this team at a rate let's be honest, it was almost unfair to have expected of him. But unfortunately, when your manager of Celtic is still expected of you, it's just how it works. But what he needs is these odd wee bonus weeks here and there where, and again, not focusing on the enemy, but they had another, great result in Europe again, fair play to them. But another game they've had to focus on. Whereas we've just had another clean run of days where we can get back in the training ground. I'm not advocating fall out of Europe just to focus on the league year on year. But I actually think when you realise how few in a number of weeks Ange has had like this since he took over, because remember he was appointed pretty late in the day as well. I think this is a total Bhoycie bonus, or Bhoycie bonus if you prefer, this week that we've just had. I think we could come out all guns blazing on Monday night because you've seen a lot of it. We've seen flickers against St Mirren, and then at Almondvale we looked right at it. What's 7-8 days rest going to do? I think Tannadice could be somewhere where we go in supreme confidence and very refreshed.
Aye, no, 100%. We seem to be hitting a new level. Like because sort of performances the last few weeks were a wee bit dire. I mean, I didn't care about anything else, but I was absolutely bricking it going into that Livingston game.
The spaghetti has
absolutely horrific. We've not been playing well there at all, and I just thought, you know what? I really thought we dropped points, to God's honest truth, and they play how we did. I mean, fair point. Who cares? You know what? It was never a corner, but you know what? We actually scored from a set piece, man, which is weird.
Yeah.
And do you know what, man?
That's the second time.
Aye, and we played them off the park as well. There's no doubt about it. We played them off the park. You know what I mean? And I think it was David Martindale that actually came out and said it's one of the best performances he's seen for a Scottish side or something like that. Was it no against them there? So,
well, he said basically, we always want to look within ourselves what we could have done more. He goes, but sometimes you just need to look at the opposition and give kudos to them. And he goes, you were beaten by the better side, which he'd have been saying through gritted teeth.
Of course he would have. Of course he would have.
But on the back of that, Chris, that display, we would have been going into the game at Tannadice, even if it was full of confidence because of that display. I just think with the extra respite, the extra training sessions on the park, tactically and stuff, the Postecoglou would have loved doing. I just think Monday's shaping up nicely for us to make another stab at what potentially could be, very important if we want to win. If we want to win a treble. And I mean, you don't want to get too carried away. But unfortunately, if you look at it game by game, the objective is every year to win all your domestic trophy. Ange literally on open goal says today, and we'll come to that in a bit, but he actually says on open goal today, the objective, he goes, I want to make a dent in Europe, I really do, but I know I need to win every domestic trophy first before I can even think about that. He goes, you've got to go one step at a time. So Celtic are admitting, Ange is admitting, he wants fucking treble, like, there's no two ways about it. He's literally saying it in as many words. Dundee United are, I think, unfortunate to come against Celtic at this time. A couple of weeks back, in the midst of our, heavy fixture list, congestion, a wee dip in form, they might have been fancying this cup tie. Now I think they'll watch the Livingston game and then think Celtic's been, had a break for 7-8 days. That guy knows what he's doing. Apparently he makes them better on the training ground. I mean, I think for us it's the perfect time. Now I want to talk to you about the importance of this tie, because we've obviously been talking about context recently on the Bhoycie bus in terms of Europe. A lot of fans had apathy towards exiting the Conference League. Me, not so much. I got pelters for it. I don't know where Feed the Bear is. I think he's not been back on in ages. I think his difference in opinion, maybe he's left us. I don't know. But I wasn't as nonchalant about it. I was a bit gutted, if I'm honest. I thought we could have made a great run in that tournament. And if we won that trophy, for example, I know that's far-fetched, but say we had, no one would be going third-rate tournament then, would we? Fuck, right?
That's true. Very true.
So, with that in mind, will there be the same apathy if the remit is just focus on the league, all that matters? Will we see the same apathy if, and I don't envisage it, but just say the result goes against us on Monday night? Do you think there will be that same apathy? And where also do you rank the Scottish Cup right now in terms of importance this season?
Oh, it's definitely up there. I mean, like I'm saying before, it's like when Ange came in, there's no chance anybody would even be saying that we would even. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's meant to be at Christmas.
Yeah.
Ken, he was meant to get sacked at Christmas. The massive rebuild that he's got to do. I mean, what was it, 14 players? I do believe that we got rid of, and I don't know, about 10, 12 we brought in. Still had time to bed in. Aye, so I mean, and they had to bed in as well. They had to learn how big Ange was wanting to train them. Probably learn as well that they're actually going to get spoke to nice, but a bit better than what Lennon did. But that's maybe just me, but also as well, Big Ange is not a guy you want to mess about with, in my opinion.
No.
So we haven't gone into this. I think, like I said, we're going to go all guns blazing. I do believe, and I think. I don't know if I should say, but I think it's going to be 4-0, man. That's what I believe, like. And we're going to smash them, to be honest with you. And that's my honest opinion.
No, I respect that, mate. I respect that. And in terms of, like, the Scottish Cup, I mean, how important is it that you see if we do, as I say, I'm not trying to envisage we go out. I'm just saying, if we were to go out, would it be a blessing in terms of that we just focus on the league? Would you be devastated if we went out? I mean, as again, I can't emphasise enough, I don't see it. But I'm just intrigued to know where the priorities are this season with the jackpot we take into consideration that's 99% guaranteed for the Champions League if we were to win the league, and the fact that it's a new team, we just want to be focusing on the main prize, or the opportunity to get that treble back. I mean, if you were to win 5 out of the last 6 years trebles, fucking hell, that's dominance like we've never, maybe never ever seen before. And again, so I think the good thing is, like you touched on, Ange, he's not a guy to be messed with, he said, Chris. And I think that's so true. He will not take the tournament lightly at my bag.
No.
He will not take it lightly. I felt a lot of the supporters took European competition lightly. Do you think the supporters have that same vibe towards the Scottish Cup this year? Or do you think if the worst was to come to the worst, there'd be a bit of an outcry?
I don't think there would be, to be honest with you, man. I think we all understand now that where we are, right? And we're what are we, 8 away from technically winning? If we have to keep winning them all, let's be honest. So no, I don't think there will be. I don't know. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't be an outcry for me because I love the big guy. So.
Oh, aye.
But I mean, to win another treble, dude, it's beyond our wildest dreams again, wouldn't it? Let's be honest.
Oh, but would you know the one guy whose wildest dreams it's not beyond is Ange? That's the honest truth. I mean, that's what it all is about. And I think going to Tannadice, as I say, I just think it's the right tie with the right amount of respite and the right level of confidence to go in there right now. And I think, another statement win. Okay, it's not the path to league glory. But again, Celtic have already got the League Cup in the bag, right? If we were to make, what would this take us into? The semi-finals of the Scottish Cup all of a sudden? And the potential, already we are sitting top of the league. I mean, the players surely, for me, they get hungrier. They want, if you listen to any ex-pro, they actually talk, Chris, about how, see, when you're winning games, that fatigue thing doesn't really happen. See, when you're winning on all fronts, you're right up and at it. And I think this break for a team that has had such a success rate this season of wins, this year, since the turn of the year, we've dropped 2 points in the league. Okay, the European displays weren't great, but we've navigated ourselves to the quarterfinals of the Scottish Cup as well. We've seen a 9-point swing in the league, 14 clearing the goal difference stakes, and you're now looking at it going, I think these guys are wanting the games to come thick and fast. Such was where the confidence will be and the momentum, which is so key in any sport, stands right now. And see, just as a fan for you, the game can't come quick enough, can it? Because we were left salivating after Sunday. I didn't see the performance coming at Almonvale or Spaghetti Had, whatever it's called, that did come at town. What Celtic produced, that makes you hungrier for the next game. I think the goodwill the team's going to get on Monday as well. There's just a real buzz about it, Ollie.
Aye. The whole buzz about the place as well, dude. It's unbelievable. I mean, going to the games now as well. Don't get me wrong, I'm bricking it most of the times. Like, comes into half time, you're still 0-0. You're sitting there going, oh. But see, actually, what I like to do is once you've been at the game, you're sitting there, you're going through all the emotions. give it a day and watch the highlights. And it's not really as bad as as how you feel at the time, eh?
That's very clever. Very clever. You're so right, because when you watch, see, when you watch a highlights reel back, remember you've removed your emotion from it.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching it with a completely different lens, a different set of eyes, if you like, because when you're watching it the first time, it's like you say, it's through strife, it's through anxiety, it's through nerves, it's through hope, excitement, all these things, and it's over-exaggerating bad bits and then potentially over-exaggerating good spells that you had in the game. When you watch highlights reel sometimes back, that's such a great point you make there, because the amount of highlights reels I've had to watch back, obviously, if you're doing a pod, you kind of need to like go, what the fuck happened again yesterday? You know what I mean? You watch it back before you go on to discuss it. And I think when you watch it back, I've actually been so impressed with Celtic when the emotion's been removed at times, particularly this year. I mean, since the form has just been outstanding. I mean, Bob McBob comes in and he wants to call it a fraudruple treble. Well, I don't know what you know. I mean, what's a fraud about?
Explain that.
I don't understand. I mean, you know all about fraud. You're a lot better.
Exactly. I know. No.
I don't think it's us. Paul Gilston comes in. He's saying he loves Ange's confidence. He's seen an open goal. He said he believes he could come over here and be a success. But he had to get the players, staff, and the fans to believe it first. Based on the opening 20 minutes of conversation, Chris, mission accomplished for Ange, isn't it? Because we're very much, and I've always said this, and I don't hide from it. I was a skeptic. End of story.
You tell me one Celtic fan that wasn't he? Let's be honest. I mean, I'd never heard of the guy. I hadn't a clue what team he managed or where he came from. I've got to be honest about that.
No.
Then you do a wee bit of research and you start reading up and you're like, wait a minute, this guy talks a good game. Can he make a good game? And nothing but impressed, and just absolutely loving what the big guy's bringing us at the moment. Like, and
I love this. I mean, if the little fella's on Axom, or the other pod as I call it, I mean, right, put digs in it. I mean, no one any longer is on the podcast. I told the fucking truth.
Yes.
Better than that was my opinion. It was a strong opinion, but I never wanted Ange Postecoglou out. I just gave another narrative as to why he started. He should maybe try and get his pundits to maybe be able to have more of an opinion instead of just sitting eating vanilla crisps, vanilla ice cream and eating plain crisps. Because to me, if you want to sit in the halfway house, that's the podcast for you. I'm all about having an opinion. And I based a lot of the stuff. I actually did the research into the trophies Ange had won. And he'd only actually won a round-robin league format, which is what the Scottish one is. You know, you play each other X amount of times. He's only ever won a league format like that in Japan. The titles he wins in Australia go mental. They go into like a playoff thing. And he won one of them on penalties. You can't win this AFL on penalties. And in the Asian Cup, the Asian Champions League, 7 out of 14 times it'd be won by a Japanese club. So if you're one of the Japanese sides going into that, you're the favourites or one of the favourites, right? 7 out of 14 has been won by a Japanese team. He went out in the last 16. I brought these facts to the table to balance them with all the gushing you were getting from Australian journals at the time. I don't have egg on my face for doing that. It was called doing a wee bit of homework and offering another opinion. Opinions are something that little slime ball doesn't know much about. I'm telling you that right now. But I'm sure his wee sports scene rip-off's going well. Anyway, let's move on. I fucking love it, mate, honestly.
It's been downhill since you've left anyway, dude. That's the truth.
Big Monty says, don't let them talk you down. And that's it. I mean, you've got to give your opinions from the other side. Of course, you're going to get shit wrong. But the whole point of me even talking about Ange and my opinion at the beginning of it is, as I was saying a minute ago, I am now a complete believer. And if his first objective, as Glasgow CSC was saying, was to get us to believe in him as a person first, then as a manager, as I say to you, it's job done. And I was one of the hardest people maybe to get that happened to. And yet, I'm all aboard, mate. And whether it's Ange's bus, Bhoycie's bus, whatever, we're both driving buses. Long may it continue.
Exactly.
And we will talk a wee bit about that because it was funny that he did a a bus analogy with Cy Ferry and Paul Slane, who, do you know what, again, Ange knows. See if you ever watch his media conferences, he's like, there's different sides to his personality that, again, you're warming to all three of them, right? Now, first one is, you look at how he deals with mainstream media, right? We'll talk about them first. We'll go through it. Here's my 3 key points of Ange's, the 3 faces of Ange. How he deals with mainstream media, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
How he deals with fan media.
Mm-hmm.
And how he deals with the likes of Cy Ferry and Paul Slane. Now, for me, MSM, we'll talk about that first. He's got them on toast. I've talked about this before, the Kenny McIntyre example. You know, whoever else it was, was it Tom English trying to, or whoever it was, whatever idiot it was. He's got them literally. The other one he does, I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. He's called, is it Gabriel Antionazzi or something? And I think he does a bit for Clive One now. And he used to do, or he maybe still does PLZ soccer. That idiot Peter Martin, he does one, I don't know. But, like, I don't know why, but, like, Ange's just decided anytime that Gabriel guy asks a question, he seems like the nicest wee journalist ever. And Ange just is like, boom, every single time. His relationship with the mainstream media is good because he's almost got them kissing his arse. And even when they're kissing his arse, he's still having none of it. Is this the right way for a Celtic manager to conduct himself with the media, as opposed to be all guns blazing? He's doing the same thing as Neil Lennon, just a completely different way.
Aye, that's the thing about the big guy. He's just got that aura about him. You know, he's got that aura about him where he talks and then, you know what, everybody listens. Let's be honest. And for me, he's just a massive inspiration. That's how I see the big guy. I'm a football coach myself, right? So I'm a football coach for my wee boys football team, and I've got to be honest, I've stole some of his things. I've stole some of the things he's done in the training ground. I've spoke to them how he's done it, and you know what, you're getting a lot of great feedback as well, and majorities came for the big guy. So no, like you're saying, man, he's got ways of talking. Did you see his interview he done with the Australian folk? Was it yesterday or the day before? Completely different guy again. So
this is the faces that we're talking about. The faces of Ange is very interesting. So mainstream media, you look at him, he's stern-faced, he's stony. You know, you can tell it's, I'm ready, I'm waiting.
What now, mate? What now, mate?
Tip, like, just, you know, tee me up, and I'll knock it out the park, and you're going to feel that size. Then you watch him, the exact same press conference, but then it goes to the fan media. Now, I watched Hail 67 today. Again, when you're part of the other pod that I was on, you know, you're in your own wee bubble and you're pretty much told the rest of them are shite. It's been quite enlightening the past few months watching all the other fan media, because I'm getting wee tidbits off it, to be honest with you. And then I'm looking at, and I'm just seeing different perspectives. And again, a lot of them will go to the press conferences. I could apply for the accreditation. I'm sure I would get it, considering the viewers will have that. It's just not my bag, right? It's not for me.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
It's like, I genuinely, like me going, how's morale round the camp today? It's just fucking boring. Like, I'm 34 years old. I'm not going to get all giddy by getting a sentence with Ange Postecoglou read out. Do you know what I mean? It's not my thing. But what you find with the fan media is he's so much warmer to them all. He lets them ask long-winded questions that are totally different, in fairness, a lot of them, from mainstream media as well, which I love, because they're asking questions that us, the fans, are like, quite curious to know that. And Ange is he's not trying to get the fan media bit out the road. He's actually wanting to engage in that bit. He knows where his butter's bread, if you like. Now, whilst he's got a responsibility to do a good job in the park and win his trophies, he knows he needs the fans on board to do that. You know? And very, very obviously, his whole demeanour changes when it goes from mainstream media and the presser to fan media. The evidence is there. How clever a tactic do you think that is, Chris?
Oh, it's unbelievable. So, what do you reckon? Do you reckon obviously he would have to have done a wee bit of research before he came over to us? Yeah. What do you think about that? Aye. So, I mean, he's obviously knew exactly what the backlash that the Celtic got, obviously, during their failed attempt at trying to get 10 in a row. the fans we were all furious with the board, we were furious with the manager, we were furious with half the players, and he's came in, and you know what he's done? He's brought us all together now. He's brought us as one. And he's made us into one big bubble, and we're all feeling it now. You know what I mean? That's what I feel.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, Chris. It's very interesting again that you say that. Now, I remember an interview with Brendan Rodgers. There goes the klaxon. Brendan Rodgers.
There we go.
Again. He does get mentioned a lot. Do you know what? History will be kind to Brendan Rodgers. Here's my also just a wee throwaway comment. I am not convinced he's managed Celtic for the last time. Right? That
really,
is
man?
Oh, I am convinced he'll be back. I'm convinced.
How would half the viewers feel about getting him back?
Time will pass.
He came through that door, and I could not believe it. God's honest truth.
And you still, even this is the thing, right? You still wouldn't believe it if he came back. You'd still get that giddy feeling, even if you didn't want it. You'd go, pasta. And I know that I'm hoping that's any time soon, by the way. But anyway, that's another. But what Brendan Rodgers said, I remember in an interview, it was talking about the success that he'd had and why he had it. What had brought it on, he says, 3 key things that a football can't really did his accent there. Terrible, beautiful human being. But he said,
that's brilliant, man.
he said about a Holy Trinity. That's what he was talking about, right? And the Holy Trinity, he said, was board, back, manager. Manager has the backing of the players, and then the fans. Board, what was it he said? It was like fans, management, board. Or players or something like that. But he says, see when you've got them all in, and I think he used the word harmony. See when they all work in harmony, he goes, the club can be whatever it wants to be. Now, what Ange Postecoglou has done, though, without bringing his whole backroom team with him, like Rodgers had the luxury of, which any manager, to be honest, should have the luxury of. It's not a luxury. You should just be allowed that. Ange has done it all on his own. He's done it all on his own. And he's created that synergy. Is that a good word to use on a Friday night? But he has managed between all this, he's even managed to get us off the backs of the board to an extent. Even when they're still being cunts, like closing one of the sections only 3 weeks ago. That last season would have been absolute mayhem if that had happened. But because Ange has got us all so invested in what's going on, it's quite incredible that he's managed to do that. Now, that importance is huge. But the reason is because we see him dealing with the media the way we want to see our manager deal with them. Treated with disdain, curt answers, wit when needed, and put downs on point, right? That don't turn into stupid rants. And we'll talk about Lennon later, but the way he ranted, you're like, there's actually a bit of truth in what he was saying, but it was lost, completely lost in translation because he's spitting and raging and pointing and just stupid. Ange is just so his precision, it's just so good. But the other face to him was today, he knew his audience, Cy Ferry and Paul Slane. I'm sure they must have done it earlier in the week, the interview. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's very clever, Chris, because he knows you dumb it down a wee bit with these guys. Because, by the way, Cy Ferry's forgotten more about football than I'll ever know. That's a fact. That is a fact. But when they're talking and they're having the wee jokes and all that, Ange engages with them. He makes it funny. I think, again, he's so aware that that's the biggest fan podcast duo, if you like, in Scotland. Be on side with them. It makes sense. Very clever. And that other side to his personality makes him, yet again, all the more endearing. What face of Ange, Chris, is your favourite? Is it the stern face that he does with the media? Is it the warmth and the fatherhood sort of figure that he brings to fan media and our supporters in general in the club? Or is it the guy who's having a laugh on Australian TV or with, Paul Slane and Simon Ferry today?
Probably I've got to be honest, man, right? It has to be the warmth and the fatherhood of it, in my opinion. Because under Lennon, like we had, it didn't matter what happened, it was never Lennon's fault. I loved Lennon, right? I've got to be honest with you, right? I loved Lennon. And
we'll get
as
to
a player,
that. We will get to that.
As a player, he was amazing. But everything, I've just got a way of this turning everything around where it's all about the team. And that's how it should be. It shouldn't be about anything else other than the team. It doesn't matter if we're playing crap. The big guy will tell you. I thought we were excellent today. We just keep their principles. We keep playing football the way we want to play it. And for me, it's the warmth and the fatherhood is what it brings. It's just bringing everybody together. Everybody's back as one again.
It's the most important aspect of him, Chris. That's the
100%.
thing. There is three faces, and the thing is that the other two sandwiched in between the middle one that I suggested to you are the bonuses, the icing on the cake, if you like. But it's the middle one. That's the meat of the sandwich, mate. That is the most important bit. Is he's brought a warmth. He's brought, as I say, he's like a father figure to the fans. He talks like he's your, I don't know, like, he's someone that you look up to, straight away. And that's, you imagine, if we're seeing that on camera, what the fuck is he like with a young player at that club? They must just be sitting going, my advice to them must be, just be a sponge. See when he talks, stop doing what you're doing, unless he tells you to keep going. But listen to every word he's telling you. Take it all in, because
don't play the ball back. Whatever you did, didn't play the ball back.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's true though. But it's true. Great wee things. I mean, he said today as well. I don't want to go, too far, but he was saying today as well. The most frustrating thing for him is players coming in whinging and moaning. And he's like, do you know how lucky you are? And he used another bus reference. He goes, you're coming into your work. See the people standing at the bus stop going to their really low-paid job that are sitting there in the pee and rain. He was like, you put that into context. He goes, then when you get to Celtic Park or Lennox Town, he goes, have a look around where you are, what you're doing. He goes, I don't care if you're not getting a game or not, if you're not playing. He goes, you're so lucky to be here. And he goes, and the other thing he said was, anyone who's got a problem, he goes, see, I hate the whinging and moaning. He goes, because there's a solution for absolutely everything. See, if there's not a solution for it, then we get on with it. The whinging and moaning needs part because I just don't put up with it. So that tells you what he's also saying there is, maybe there is a couple of whingers and moaners, and that's why they're not playing. And secondly, the rest of the team, and why we've got this great spirit, is because there is very little of that whinging and moaning. Isn't it wonderful to think that what we are seeing, we're loving, and to think that the majority of his working week is what we don't see?
Aye.
Scary.
Aye, man. That's what I'm saying. I've not got enough good things to say about the big guy. And hopefully that continues all the way through. I mean, the minute he even came in with his first ever press conference and he just talked like a normal guy and he just commanded the whole room. That's what we want to be in Celtic fans. We want somebody who's got the ability to turn it on, have a bit of a laugh, but then also be that serious guy that, I mean, I would not like to get in the wrong side of that big guy, to be honest with you.
No. But he's quite charismatic too, isn't he?
Aye, that's what I mean, man. Try to find the words to use, dude. And
it's all right.
It sounds like a total love fest. Like I'm sitting here, I've not got the Shamrock in here. It's a big Ange love heart. That's what I've got there.
Right.
After last season, that's what we're talking about. It's after last season, what we went through as a club, as we went through as a fan base.
Yep.
What he's brought in has been nothing more than just amazing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more. And do you know what? Ange would be saying, look, put this conversation on ice, Bhoycie, because nothing's been done yet. We're probably talking like we've won things yet. He'll be the least one like that. Which again, you have to admire. But see, at the end of the day, Ange, there's been no football for a week now. We had to find some sort of content. Anyway, let's go up to next because we will take a wee look ahead. Now, if you think we were sounding presumptuous before, I'm looking at the fixtures, right? We're going to have 3 out of the 5 after the split at home. We've got 2 out of the 3 before the split at home. 9 points. I mean, we've got Ross County and St Johnstone at home. I know Ross County are playing very well today. And again, Ange recognised today Malcolm Mackay's work at Ross County. He said, he's really impressed him. But the thing was, hopefully he's not texting him to say that because you don't know what they'll get as a reply from Malcolm Mackay. But the thing is, before the split, there's 9 points up for grabs. One of the games is at Ibrox. Now, I'm not saying that's a guarantee we'll win that or anything like that. See, if we were to just take, as we have been doing all year, all of 2022, bar one match, just take 9 for 9. One hand on the trophy, in my opinion, because then we're going into a post-match split. A split with 5 games to go, where 3 of them are at home as well. Honestly, the advantage is very much with Celtic. And I always look at a season in wee mini blocks. See the start of the season. The way I looked at it is, see, there's quite a lot of international breaks. So I'll go, look, there's a cluster of 6 fixtures. How many points can we get for that before the next break-up for, international weekend? And then go, that's a wee mini league. See if we get 15 from 18 there, we'll be a pretty good sort of set. We've now got this next wee mini league, because the reason I'm not looking too far ahead into the split is because we've got no idea who will be in it, because about 8 teams could join us. And that could swing how many games away we play, how many games at home, etc. as well, and how difficult they are, to be honest with you. But what we've got right now is, again, as I'm going to describe it, is a wee mini group. 3 fixtures, 9 points, and we are in one hell of a place. The beauty of the Rangers game at Ibrox is, right, they will probably feel like they should be favourites for it. We don't mind. But all the pressure is on them. They lose that, they know they're 6 points behind, 14 goals behind, and they'll crumble. Right? Not being funny, but they would never catch that up. We would break further away. All the pressure is on them to win. See if we get beat. As I say, I'll go back to it. We'll still have a 5-game post-split fixture list that'll have 3 games at home, 2 away, and 1 of the games at home against them. Whilst we already have the cushion of the goal difference, which I don't think now we're going to see swing back in their favour between now and the end of the season. All the pressure's on them in that fixture. Can we get 9 points from our next 3 league games after obviously the Scottish Cup tie with Dundee United?
Certainly doable. Ross County they gave us a hard game the last time, if I do believe, wasn't it? It was at their ground, wasn't it?
Yep.
Aye, so, I mean, I don't think it was too long after Malky Mackay took over. Am I slivering crap about that? I'm not 100% sure. Was he there from the start of the season?
Who?
Malky
Mackay. He's been there for the start.
Is he really? Aye.
He started really, really poorly.
Right. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. They were kind of getting a bit better.
Went woof. But he's got a good. He's another one where a CV in the Championship in that England that was really decent.
Wigan and stuff like that, wasn't he?
Wigan, Cardiff, he got promoted.
Cardiff as well, that's right.
To the Premier League. Watford, I think he might have finished in the playoffs, so Watford a couple of times as well. So his name mug to be at Ross County, it's just he's obviously got a checkered, history with his racism and all that. So, or what was it he said? Sounded a bit like someone's tits and all that. Like, Jig, I bet you'd love them. Talking about a club secretary, you're going, you're the manager, mate. You can't.
What a legend!
You just can't.
You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. No, you're in a position that he's in. Let's be honest, eh? We can say that. We can have a laugh and say something like that. But
it's just. I mean, it's just misogynic, I suppose. International Women's Week just there and stuff, and you're going, now, okay, you're an English Premier League manager, but anyway, that's a side show. Ross County, you think they'll pose us some problems?
I think that's going to be another one of those games where we're just going to be hide behind the couch or grab. I normally grab onto my wee boy, unfortunately, sometimes. Most of the time, just holding on to him. Come on, son, get the goal here. Ken, you're just sitting there absolutely britting it. So,
I love that.
But this is the part of the season that means everything, though. Ken, the mistakes have been made already. We now need to keep pushing on. I do believe that we will. Ibrox, though. When was the last time we won there?
When was the last time? A while ago now.
Was it under Rodgers? Well, obviously it would have been, but...
No, Neil Lennon.
Did Lennon do it?
Yes, Edward and Johnny Hayes.
So it was.
Johnny Hayes, that's the last
Johnny
time.
Hayes, aye. Was it 2-0? Aye.
What's
Johnny Hayes?
Was
that the first game of the season?
The first one of the first, Glasgow derby of the 2019-2020 season, aye?
I remember that now, buddy. That's right. So we are talking, what was that, four Glasgow derby games ago? So at the ground.
Yeah, let's be honest. As I say, the thing is, the pressure is off us.
You're probably asking the wrong person here, boys, when it comes to Glasgow derby games, right? Because I am the worst fan when it comes to that. I think we're going to get beat all the time. That's just me.
Oh, is that your vibe, is it?
Oh,
is
man,
it?
it's because I get myself too worked up for it. My wee boy, he's 11-year-old, right? And he's just sitting there going, Dad, it's just a game. I'm like, Dad, when do you get older?
No, it's not.
It's no just a game. I can't get sleep at night. I'm waking up. I can't even have breakfast or nothing, man. I'm walking about the house. I'm pacing. I mean, I'm getting the Hoover out and everything. I mean, that's the wife's job. The wife's job's the Hoover. Lucky enough she can't hear me, right? But so I mean, I can't get a thing right. I'm normally go to if I can't get up to the games, I normally go to my pal Scott's bit, and I'm round there, and he's the same. He's laid back. He's pretty cool with it. I'm sitting there. I just can't.
It's a weird feeling in the morning in these sort of games, you know. But the way I see it is, the Ange is going to just treat it as another game, mate. You know, that's how he's going to look at it. It's another game.
To be like that.
I know. Oh, I know. But he'll go. We've got 2 games at home and 1 away. You know, at the end of the day, we're not playing one team that's above us in the league because we're the top dogs. So all the teams you're playing are below you in the league. Fucking prove it. Prove why. And at the end of the day, even if you drop points in one of the 3 games, you'll still be top of that league after that fixture, as long as you only drop points in 1. All the pressure switches to them. My hunch is that game will be a draw. That is what I think will happen. That is what I think.
I'll take that right now. Take that right now.
Because then Destiny, we're equivalent right now. We're 4 points. There's Michael 89. He would still take a point. As long as we're still 3 points ahead. I think that's probably the realistic way to look at it. My honest other vibe though is I think they'll drop more points in other games than we will. No, not being like focused on them, but you have like it comes into the equation. It's a title race, for fuck's sake. I believe that we've got to have one eye on their results. But from what I've seen so far this year, I'm quietly confident we'll drop less points than them in the other games. Not saying we'll win every single one, but seeing us lose one is quite tricky. I don't know what they're like, a box of chocolates, you know, away from you never know what you're going to get, sort of thing. This season, I mean, this year, sorry, I mean, how many points have they dropped? 10, 12 in the league alone? I mean, it's, you know, it'll be a very interesting. John Duncan comes in just before we go on to the next point. We're going to talk about Neil Lennon next. But John Duncan says Cool go back for the split, Chris. How
You're
big
saying it wrong, Bhoycie. You need to say Big Ange's
like
way.
Ange. So Ange will just be talking in his normal jargon, right? And then he just go, in Kyoko.
I love that, man. I love
Where does that come from? Kyoko.
Kyoko.
I'm like, Ange, stop calling that voice. that must be his Japanese accent coming out, mixed with Australian. And I knew, mate, with a Kyoko. I'm like, what? Anyway, how big would it be though if he was back for the split?
If we can get him back, that would be the icing on the cake, in my opinion. That would be because I'm going to say it, man, right? You know what? I think it'll make us unstoppable. See, the minute that wee guy comes back flying like he was before he was injured, and was it Boxing Day?
Yep.
Aye.
Yeah, it was. Well, he was already injured, but the squad was so threadbare he had to play at McDermott Park, and that's obviously really aggravated the injury.
Do you think Kyoko is? Do you think he's too intelligent for the Scottish game at this moment in time? No.
I think the Scottish game will be improving him as a player. I'll go back to it. Henrik Larsson undoubtedly is the best footballer I've ever seen at Celtic. Henrik Larsson became 10 times the footballer playing in the Scottish League as opposed to not playing in it. And that was a guy, by the time he joined us, he scored in a third-place World Cup playoff in '84. He'd played in the Dutch top flight. He had numerous caps for Sweden as well. Decent reputation. He came to Scotland and went, the guy we watched give the ball to Chick Charnley to the guy we let go for free to Barcelona. Come on. And that was him at 33 when he left to go to Bar 32 and a half when he went to go to Barca. And you're going, he got better because he was in the Scottish League. I already reckon Kyoko has become a better player because the thing is with Scottish football, I'll never ever say, take it easy, Bob McBob. I know he's one of our resident Rangers fans and whatever, but I don't actually mind the banter sometimes. But the thing is with Kyoko is the Scottish football, right? It's not brilliant, right? It's not fucking elite football, but it's different. It's a completely different puzzle to solve. And the physicality of it is nothing like what they've experienced before. The fact he's found a way around it already instantly tells me his game will have improved. because it's a different challenge. I also think as well, when he comes back to the Celtic team, he is rejoining a Celtic team far stronger than it was the one that he departed. Because the reason his injury has been so elongated, is that what I'm making them up as I go along?
Elongated, I like that as well, man. I love that.
It's been lengthened anyway. The injury layoff's been lengthened because he was forced to play at McDermott Park because he didn't have any other options, realistically, right? That's what's happened. Whereas now, I reckon when he comes back, it's going to have been at the final point where, he's 100% good to go now because we've been able to strengthen the squad. That's the key. So when he comes back, firstly, he's going to be like a Rolls Royce back, all shiny and new, ready to rock and roll. But not just that, he's going to look at his surroundings and he's going to go, holy fuck, this is a better team than I left. That's the key. And I think the thought of Kyogo coming back in to the Celtic side before the end of the season should be putting the fear up the rivals. It certainly should be because, and not just them, I mean any side, because you think of the pace, the directness of Abada, if not a resurgent James Forrest in the past couple of games. You think of the Maeda's work rate, Giacomakis' work rate, two completely different puzzles again to solve. You bring Kyogo, Jota, you're putting all them as your forward options. Teams are going to have sleepless nights over that, aren't they, Chris?
Aye, man. And we've got Matt O'Reilly as well. That boy looks like he could pass a ball for an Ivan Riedel. With Kyogo's run. He hasn't played with Kyogo yet, hasn't he? No, he's not been in the same team with him yet. So you can see sometimes during some of the games that O'Reilly's played so far for us, he looks like he's trying to find that one pass to get through.
Yeah, and I think
Kyogo will make those runs for him all day long, and he's the type of guy that will find them. From where O'Reilly came from, and again, as a player, I never heard it before.
MK Dons.
I mean, honest with you, man, I never heard them. No. And there's somebody putting there now about Tumble. I mean, Tumble for me, when he went out, that was me. I was like, what's the chance? He's probably a really good playmaker. Listen, he's not blessed with great pace, but he's got a fantastic through ball, and he can strike a ball as well. And then we've got O'Reilly in there. I mean, Tumble's going to find it hard to get back in that team.
And
he's not going to walk straight back in.
What's Tumble sitting on right now? Someone could tell me in the comments, but it sounds like, I think he's double figures for goals. Let's have a wee look.
Is he really?
Aye. Tumble. We'll have a wee look online. We'll use that transfer market site. I've just typed in Tumble into Google and it's came up with some mechanical services. Not quite what I meant. Although I'm sure they're a good mechanical service and all that, you know what I mean? But you'd be amazed. Because me and Jonathan played a game on a Monday Club once a few weeks ago saying guess the player. And all the players that I had picked for the competition were because they were out injured. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So this season he's sitting on 9 goals, 7 assists. There you go.
Wow.
9 goals. And we've had that out the team as well. Do you know what I mean? Like this is the... And you're going, he's now, I think, a lot of that word apathy will bring back. Everyone's like, David Tumble coming back, and I think it's a big, big win. Terry Robb's asking if we've got trousers to match the blazer. Mate, I'm in a pair of trackies.
Go on, son. You got the trackies on. Look at that, Tay. Swedish numbers as well.
You've blown my cover, Terry, you bastard. But Terry's been on the show a few times. Brilliant crack. Me and him stayed up till, I don't know. We got pretty drunk after the last Double Doon Show that we did together.
Oh, that's amazing.
He had great pattern, mate. He's a legend. Anyway, right, we'll quickly talk about Neil Lennon. Look how fast time goes, by the way. 55 minutes have nearly been on for already. Frightening, eh? Time flies when you're having fun, my boy. But we will talk about Neil Lennon. Now, I wished him well on Twitter. And I'll be honest, Twitter infuriates me at times, right? I think I've got all right patter. I think sometimes my opinion on football, I can put a tweet out and I'm like, oh, you know what? That tweet makes a lot of sense, Bhoycie. 2 likes, 3 likes, right? I just said, unpopular opinion. I hope Neil Lennon smashes it in Nicosia. Why not? That's all I said. And it's at nearly 1,500 likes. I'm like, this Twitter game's impossible. I mean, like, they don't back down, they dumb down. But anyway, the dust is settling, right? That's my take on it. And for me, I was panning him when he was doing, like, seeing the summer, going on the BBC Euro special thing and basically just throwing players under the bus, always taking no responsibility. I thought, do you know what? Everyone's too raw for you right now, Neil, to be doing these interviews. Do you know what I mean? You're obviously on a preservation mission of your image, but everyone's seeing through it. Stupid. And that's actually one of the reasons why domestically he's not had a job. Because I think everyone thought, fucking, he's on his own wee crusade. He's not thinking about Celtic anymore. But for me, the dust is settled. Neil Lennon was the only name I ever had in the back of a Celtic shirt. Lennon 18. And I even got it long sleeved. I was only 15 years old, but I fucking loved him. Do you know what I mean? And I think
I dyed my hair.
Aye. Oh, aye.
Wasn't it a Gaza, by the way? Wasn't it a Gaza? It was a Lennon.
No. A Lennon. And you look back at the success he brought, and I think people forget as well, he was the one guy trusted in the transition from O'Neill to Strachan. Strachan made Lennon captain, and literally Petrov, I think, played one season under Strachan and then left. Sutton left the January window. Thompson left the January window. Hartson lasted a season. Neil Lennon was his captain in the last 16 of the Champions League. And Lennon was older than the other supposed older crew that Strachan was trying to get out. Lennon's wages would have been considerable. 30,000 he joined Celtic on a week. I wouldn't imagine he took a big drop in that time. But he was our captain then to even more glory in Europe, last 16s against AC Milan and stuff. So I think, look back at that, and then I look at his first season, his first tenure as manager, and it is such a regret that he didn't win that league that first season, because that Celtic team, I've said this before on here, excited me so much. His recruitment, now don't get me wrong, there was a few near misses. David James would have been a disaster. Saul Campbell would have been a disaster, because they'd have created, David James would have had howlers that would have been really exposed in the goldfish bowl of Scottish football. And Saul Campbell, I think, would have brought a soap opera with him, if I'm honest.
Yes.
So I didn't agree with those. I didn't agree. But remember, he brought Izagiri, Kyle, Hooper. Tell me one of those three you'd heard of. Fucking none. Mastorovic, even for a year, looked all right. But then,
my pal. I used to love Daniel Mastorovic, and
did you?
I used to love. Oh man, I used to love the big guy, because he was the type of guy. I remember he came in and he said, "I'll run through brick walls for this team and stuff like that." If you can remember right, and all my pals.
He was 33 when he joined as well.
Something like that. Aye, my pals used to slag him off. I told him, Daniel Mistakovic is what. Didn't get me wrong. I started making fun of him by saying Daniel Mistakovic as well. But aye, he did make a fair couple of mistakes for us as well, to be honest though. But yeah, again, what he done is he brought in that solid backline to help us get through a season.
And exciting players though.
Exciting football. Gary Hooper was one of my favourites. My God.
And he turned Samaras into the maverick that, see, Samaras' legacy at Celtic would be nothing without the effect Neil Lennon had on him. You know, Neil Lennon made Samaras captain numerous times. Times in Europe, because the funny thing is, you know, I don't want to talk down about recently potentially retired Scott Brown. Scott Brown couldn't get in the Celtic midfield at times under Neil Lennon.
So he did.
Folks forget that, because you had the likes of Joe Ledley, Kyle, Wanyama. Wanyama was a Lennon signing.
My God,
Fraser
of course.
Foster was a Lennon signing.
Aye.
You know, there was a lot good that happened back then. Do you know what I mean? And I actually happen to think that he got the best out of then. The more average players like Mark Wilson had the season of his life at Celtic that first season, you know, and I didn't really think he was particularly a player, if I'm honest. But again, he exceeded it. Kelvin Wilson was at centre-half against Barcelona, a guy who never played above the championship level. So I look back at all these fond memories and I go, yes, Lenny, you were a wanker last year. Yes, you should have left earlier. Yes, you were on self-preservation mode in the summer and I didn't condone it. But you know what? I'm so caught up in the good vibes of this year that I'm willing to kind of move on from it now. Do you think that'll be the general consensus among the fans now, though, Chris? And where do you stand on it?
Well, hopefully now, to be honest with you. I mean, I've had my things about Lennon back in the day when he was the manager last season, obviously, right? But he deserves it. He deserves just a wee bit of a break now. Let's be honest. I mean, it's past now. You know what? What would you do being a Celtic fan, Bhoycie, right? Would you want to stay on believing you could do better? getting obviously under the scrutiny that he was getting during that 10-in-a-row season,
Yep.
or would you be want to be seen as being a quitter? And that's what I can see Lennon's point of view. What was he going to, if he quits, it's the easiest thing to do. But imagine he got us out that hole. You know, it was aye.
And you know what? He had a lot of experience though, and like history of winning trophies and titles at Celtic to go. Well, it's not like I'm a rookie manager who can't get us out of this. You know, history tells me I can win league titles. So why would you want someone who's never won a league title to come in early? Anyway, I think the pressures of the situation, the Dubai debacle and all that, I mean, and it was embarrassing. I mean,
it didn't help. It didn't help.
The PR situation of him lying on a sun lounger drinking a pint whilst we were all in lockdown. Celtic shouldn't even really went to Dubai. It was so bad. And for him to come down and kind of go all guns blazing was when you knew, right, you're now almost a distraction for the football. You know the football's fucked. So that side of it is one thing, Chris. But I think over 20 years, he's
done enough to.
I wish him well in Cyprus, mate.
Aye, no, I'm with you with that as well, buddy.
Good, I'm glad. I'm glad of that.
Aye, I've got to be honest.
And don't forget that as well. Van Dijk, he signed.
So he did, man. So he did.
You know, and you know, remember what he?
Not as good as Harry Maguire, but let's be honest, yeah.
Oh, I know. But you know, it's funny. He said, "Hoyt, laugh at you, right? I'll see you later, Hoyt." If Chunks says get that Hoyt off this bus now, Bhoycie, I do what Chunks says. That was easy. Don't you worry. And the guy called F Chunks, I blocked him earlier as well because he was ripping the piss out. It was just Chris was talking, so I didn't want to make a deal of it. So that's two being blocked tonight.
Was that guy slagging the size of my nose? Was he?
No.
Surprised he can fit on the screen, man.
I wouldn't worry about that, mate. You've still got the headset to worry about. Right.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant. Love it.
Right, mate. You know what comes next? And it is that time. It is that time. Don't back down. Double Doon. Now, we all know how the quiz works, apart from me, it would seem. I've still not done the leaderboard. I'm going to need to actually spend time on Sunday and watch all the last shows to get.
I'll not even be on it, mate. Don't worry.
Well, John Tomlinson, who is a big part of the Endless Sales podcast, I think went back to his pod with his tail between his legs last week. I think he got 60 points, which was really low, considering you're meant to be able to get quite a lot of points for this, the way it works. Now, again, I always like to, you might be a first-time viewer, and if you are watching the Bhoycie Bus, please make sure to hit subscribe, hit the like button for us, that'd be brilliant. And see if you ever see me posted on Twitter or Facebook, give us a wee share. It always helps. And I don't know anyone who's jumped on the bus that said, that was shite, it's been a really negative vibe, I'm leaving. No one does. So it's worth, spreading the word on. Anyway, I thank you all for watching tonight, as always. But we will get on with the Double Doon quiz. Now, there are a few rules, a few stipulations. You've got 3 lifelines, as you know. Double Doon, you've got to call it before the question's read, but it'll get you double the points. If you want to back down, that's just a quick pass. You're obviously not going to get any points for that question, but it might help you time-wise. If you want to flip it, there is a flip it question sitting there, Chris, but it could be of any difficulty. So if you're flipping question number 1, it doesn't mean to say you'll get at question number 1 difficulty of question as the flip it option. It could be of any. Again, as I say, it's a race against the clock a wee bit as well, because there's extra points. The quicker you finish it, the more points you get. Everything all making sense?
Getting there, man. No, it'll be fine, man. It'll be fine.
But don't be shy. Remember, pick your Double Doon moment. Decide what question you're going to go Double Doon, because you won't have heard the question yet anyway. So just even decide now between 1 and 6 what one you're going to do and make sure you call it. If you're unsure, you've got that flip it option there to get a different question, okay? Use your lifelines. They're there to be used. All right? I am going to bring up the timer now. Sponsored, as always, by Microsoft Windows.
Superb.
I mean, I don't know how folk do all this, like, on their actual brand. I mean, I'm an IT phobe, I don't have a clue.
I've not got, mate. Remember I was texting earlier about technology. Not got a Scooby-Doo about it, man.
No, me neither. Me neither, mate. There we go. Bring it. Welcome to Focus Sessions. What is this? What is this nonsense? Right, stopwatch. There we go. That's the boy. Right, so we're going to share that. There we go. There we go. Right. Can you see the stop clock all right?
I can see my man.
Right, okay. So remember, each question gets harder and harder as you go, and you get, more points as we go as well. 3 lifelines. Don't be shy in using them. Clock starts now. Question number 1. Name Celtic's Northern Irish third choice keeper.
Hazard.
Question number 2. What Japanese player has made the most league appearances this season for Celtic?
Kyogo.
Question number 3. What nationality was Lubomir Moravcik?
Slovakian.
Question number 4. Oh, good. What season did Celtic win the first of their treble of the quadruple treble?
What was the first? 2018.
Say that again.
2018.
2018. Question number 5. What shirt number did Johan Mjällby wear for Celtic? It's funny.
Flip it. Can I do that now?
Oh, flip it. Good shout. Name 2 Dutch players to play for Celtic.
Bobby Peter and the guy who was always injured. What was the guy who was always injured? It's away from me. The guy was signed for Ajax.
You've got no rush. You've got 50 seconds till 2 minutes. So just take your time. Have a think.
Can't even think of another Dutch player, man. This is a lot harder than it looks.
There's not many.
It's the guy who signed for Ajax. Keep him getting injured all the time.
Oh yes. There's more obvious than that though.
Is it really? Virgil van Dijk. Bloody hell, man.
Question number 6. Who knocked Celtic out of the League Cup in the 2003
Inverness Caledonian Thistle.
finals? Right, and we will stop the clock there. Magic. So, right, sound. How do you think you did? That was tough, mate. But it was good. I thought the questions were good chances. 83 comments flagged in here, by the way. Just as though you can't see them all. Everyone's
really?
keen at the answers.
Were they really? Right.
But, there's Stephen Thompson. I mean, he's been on the Double Doon Show. He's coming on for post-match pish soon, which you will be in the future, man. As well now, Chris, which is great.
Buddy.
Aye, 100%.
Thank you so much.
I thought the quiz... I think the difficulty of it is pretty consistent week on week. The questions are kind of similar, just different players that you've got to think of. Now, you started with a bang, mate.
Right.
Let's get the questions back up. Question number 1. Now, I put in Northern Irish there to throw it because Connor Hazard isn't a typical Northern Irish name. And I thought, who the fuck's the Northern Irish goal? You'd be thinking of like a typical Irish sort of name. But you got it right. So that was 5 points. Done.
Dude, how close I was to said Edinburgh.
Really?
Oh, man, it was right there. It was right there.
Question number 2 was what Japanese player has the most league appearances this season for Celtic? Now, they're catching up. Maeda's playing a lot of games, but you were right again. It was Kyogo. So that's you up to 15. What nationality was Lubo Moravcik? And I knew there would be a bit of delay, but you got it right again, mate. Slovakian. So well done. That is starting with a bang. Question 4, you decided to double down. I think that's a good, tactically, I think that's a good question to go for a solid score. Do you know what I mean? But mate, you're miles off.
I know.
He took over in 2016, so it was the 16-17 season that we got the first, not 2018. So sadly, it's 0 points for that one. Question number 5, you'll kick yourself because I know you're going to picture it now. Think of any iconic games. 35.
Oh, of course it was.
You can see it, eh? You can see it.
Yep. You know something I was close to saying, I know it's double figures, but...
Yep. But you decided to flip it, didn't you? So, name 2 Dutch players that played for Celtic. This is for 40 points, remember? And you got there, mate. You were thinking of Dirk Boerichter.
That's the man.
Of.
Yes.
But mate, you could have went for the longest name ever in European football.
Of course. Jan Vennegoor Hesselink.
Do you know? Weirdly, when I created the question, do you know who I thought of? The first Dutch player I thought of, Reggie Blinker, and I don't know why.
Oh, of course.
But Reggie Blinker was the first one I thought of. I'm like, that is such a disservice to
Van der Snow. Van der Snow.
Van der Snow, very good. I'd actually forgot about him.
Why does it come now? Why does it come now, eh?
I know. Well, you got them though, mate. You got them. So you got your 40 points in the bag there as well. And then question number 6. I mean, that is tricky, but it's for 50 points. That's why it's tricky. It was Hibs. Hibs went on to win it.
So they did.
Under John Collins.
That's when they beat Rangers. Is that when they beat Rangers? No.
No. They beat in the final. Oh shit! Was it Livingston? They beat in the final. Let's double check it.
I think it was Livingston. Did Livingston not make 2 finals that season?
They might have done. Let's have a look.
Am I well off?
Oh no, Hibs got beat in the final by Livingston. Apologies.
Oh.
Hibs got beat in the final. That's what happened. So what year did they win it? Under Collins. 36 new comments coming in. Fucking hell, they're flying in here tonight. It's everyone with big answers, and I like that.
Is anybody up for buying me new headphones? So the fit right now.
Oh, who's this Hoyt McNamara? Honestly, go and just bother someone else, mate. Having to blog folk, they're talking about, like they're coming on a football channel, right? Coming on a football channel, Chris, and you're reading about stuff trying to compare Celtic and stuff to Putin and that. You're just like, you really need to get a life. You need to get a life.
Fuck off, man.
Elfin Priest comes in. All of our Dutch guys have been ethnic Surinamese. I never realised that. Vennegoor of Hesselink, I don't think was, but I think you've got a point. Brathwaite, that was the other one.
Oh, of course, Edson Brathwaite.
Remember, mate, he played the World Cup final, I'm sure.
Aye. He did play the World Cup final, didn't he?
Where was he?
Was that a Mowbray signing, yeah? That was a Tony Mowbray, wasn't it?
On loan. Yeah, on loan. Brathwaite, Diamansi Kamara and Robbie Keane. And Paul Slane. I'll sign that. Oh dear. Chunks of my chunks. I love it. Another great show tonight, Bhoycie, but you deserve 50,000 subscribers. That'll happen one day, mate. We'll get there. Anyway, mate, let's total up the points because obviously you did it between 1 and 2. Nothing wrong with that. That gets you another, I can't remember how many points that gets you. Between 1 and 2, another 40. Let's total up 5, 10, that's 15, 35, 75, 115, mate. Mid-table. Mid-table, mate. Mid-table. Nothing wrong with being mid-table in this, mate. Trust me. Nothing wrong with being mid-table. The quiz is tough, but it's good fun.
It is. It sounds easy to start with, man, but then soon your heat starts going with that Dutch question. I mean, Van Dijk. We just spoke about him.
Yep. The thing is as well, you're going through eras. So your fucking head, like your mindset is in one era because of one of the questions, and then you have to jump 20 years past that, or 20 years the other way, and you're going, it's a total head fucking. But it's good. It was brilliant fun. Listen, we're gonna play some music and go. What a night!
Cool, man.
Stay on the chat, mate, and we'll get a bit
man.
Right?
Much appreciated, my man. Thank you so much for letting us normal people get involved. By the way, right? Thank you so much, dude.
More than welcome, and that's what the Bhoycie Bus is all about, and. To me, that's what separates us from the rest. I hope all the other quizzes have went well tonight. Well, actually, do about endless celts. But if there was another quiz on this Friday night, leave it to someone with a bit of personality.
Aye.
Anyway, let's play the closing credits. And Chris Sutton's words have never been more prophetic towards the wee fella. Good night.
Here we go.
Deliberately trying to cause controversy. Well, I work in the media now. And you've got someone sitting there next to you who's an embarrassment to the media profession. He's an apologist. He's a charlatan.